You are listening to the CPA Moms podcast with Dawn Goldberg, CPA. This is episode number 244, an interview with Jessica Buskirk, CPA, about her first year as a CPA Moms franchisee. Welcome to the Female Accountant Moms podcast, the podcast where busy female accountants, who also happen to be moms like you, get practical support and solutions you need to have it all, a successful career and a happy family. If you are looking for the solution to overwhelm and mom guilt, if you'd like to feel better and have more balance, as well as learn how to take back control of your life, you've come to the right place. All right, so I would like to welcome Jessica Buskirk to the CPA Moms podcast. I'm going to read Jessica's bio, and then we're going to get into a really interesting conversation. Jessica is a CPA with over 14 years of finance and accounting experience. She has worked with a variety of industries such as healthcare, real estate, construction, nonprofit, and government. Jessica has a passion for helping clients meet their financial goals. She believes in building strong relationships with her clients and working hard to find practical solutions for their specific financial needs. In her free time, which I can't imagine you have much of, Jessica loves cooking, running, and spending time with her family. She is a mother of two, and she currently lives in sunny South Florida. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Jessica is one of the CPA Moms franchisees, and she is celebrating her 1-year anniversary. Yay!
Yay!
So as the audience is familiar with, whenever I interview anyone, it doesn't matter whether it's a franchisee or it's, anybody on the podcast, I like to tell the arc of their story because I just think it's so fascinating. And I think we can relate to people more when we understand where they came from, where they are right now, and what is their vision for the future. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into accounting? What was the beginnings?
Sure. Well, I've always loved math, like all through high school. I would be one of those dorky people who would make up problems just to do for algebra because I just loved it and I enjoyed it. But I didn't think I wanted to do accounting. I really didn't know anything about accounting other than like my mom did bookkeeping for my dad's business. So that was like the extent that I knew. And so what I wanted to do was teaching. And I thought my grandmother was a math teacher. And so I thought I would be a math teacher or I would be an elementary teacher. So I actually got my AA in teaching. And when I was doing that, they have you go out with different teachers and spend so many hours, like you have to get so many hours like on the job. And every teacher I talked to was just really unhappy and didn't like their job. They felt undervalued, underpaid, disrespected. And I'm like, gosh, like this is not what I want for my life. Like what else can I do? And meanwhile, I've already put in 2 years. I'd already applied to go to the next part of the program. And it just made me stop and realize like, this is not what I want for my life. So I actually, got other people's feedback in my family and life. And everybody has, from when I was little, or not little, but like high school little, people would say, you should go into accounting. It's such a good field. You should go into accounting. And I just like let it go in one ear, out the other, because I didn't know anything about it and it didn't interest me. It sounded like, I pictured like, just nerdy and just didn't have much appeal. And my husband, now he's my husband, he had said the same thing. Like, why don't you look at accounting in business? Like, I think you'd be really good at it. And it has numbers. And so I don't know what caused me to do it. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. Like, I just did a little research and I decided I was going to switch gears. And at first I was, doing the classes and I went through and finished all the schooling and I ended up enjoying it. Like I really did like it. It's kind of still gave me that puzzle feeling that I wanted. Like that was the thing that I loved about math. It was always like a puzzle. And so, I finished school and I didn't get my CPA right away. Like I kind of was intimidated by it. You hear the fears of everybody, fails it and nobody passes. And I just thought, well, if they can't do it, I can't do it. So I immediately felt like that. And at the same time, when I ended school, my last year, I was pregnant and had my son. So I kind of took off a couple years after I graduated and didn't work at all. And it wasn't until because we traveled, my husband's a nurse and we did traveling nursing. And so when we came back and settled back in, I finally went out to work and got some on the job experience as an auditor. And it really, I ended up not getting my CPA till really late. And I didn't have the ambition because I didn't think I could do it. And something happened. I went along the fields of the different jobs that we kind of went over, like from nonprofit to auditing to government. And when I was working government, something had happened that triggered me to say, you know what? There is no reason I can't get my CPA. There's no reason. Like, I am totally capable of doing this. Like, I don't know why I've let other people get in my head and prevent me from thinking that I had the ability to do it. I did it in the time period that I needed to do it. I passed all 4 tests on the first try. I mean, I did work my butt off to get there. And I was super proud of myself that I was able to do it. And this is while being a mom, while working full time. And so you're totally capable of doing it. It's just, and I kick myself, like, why did I not believe in myself when I was younger? But I do think having the experience definitely helped me get to the point where I am now, where I was able to say, I could do it and have that big understanding of all the different components of accounting. But anyways.
So what do you think was it just being out in the workforce that all of a sudden something clicked for you? Like, what do you think it was that you went from, I'm not going to take the exam, I don't believe in myself, to I'm taking it and I passed all 4 parts?
Right. So, I had a learning disability when I still do. I still struggle a little bit with it, with spelling and things like that. But I really struggled in school when I was little. So it was kind of it kind of just stayed with me that, like, I didn't know, everybody would take their test and they would get A's and hundreds, and I would get maybe a B, and I studied so hard to get that B, so it was just, I kind of felt like if the average person who doesn't have the struggles couldn't do it and they were failing, that, like, how am I going to do it? So I kind of always had that in my mind. I think that was part of it. And then I had a CPA, like somebody I worked under who was a CPA, and he was a guy, and he just basically told all of us that worked under him that there's no way we're ever going to become CPAs. Like, we didn't have the work ethic or the knowledge, the ability to do it. So that kind of stuck in my head,
Wow.
So it was kind of a little bit of everything myself. And then, hearing from other people, and it was shame on me for not believing in myself, because I also am always preaching to my kids, like, you can do anything you believe in or believe that you can do. You're capable of it. And then when I was working in government, there was an opportunity that came up, and I wasn't able to take the opportunity. And part of it was because I didn't have my CPA or didn't have that higher education. And so it kind of, made me really evaluate, what do I want? Like, what is my long-term goal? What do I really want? Like, I'm just in this hamster wheel of doing the job and, consistently doing the same thing over and over again. And it's not really going to get me where I want to be. And really, I'm not unhappy, but I'm not happy, so I just decided I wanted more, and to get more. And when I researched, like, okay, what can I do with what I have? Like, I didn't have the CPA, but I had the experience and I had the years of schooling. And, just to get to that next level that I wanted, it was going to be that I needed my CPA. So that's what made me do it. And then after I got the CPA, I actually went and I needed like 2 classes to finalize everything. And I ended up deciding, you know what, I'm going to get my master's. I can do this. And I not only did my master's through Western Gov, which is one that it's really nice because you can kind of test out of everything. I was able to get done with my master's in 7 months, which is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was like, and it was, a lot of it had to do with me studying so much and being prepared for the exam. And then a lot of what was in the mastery classes were related to, it was basically everything that I just learned. So that kind of helped, where I didn't need to spend as much time in the books. But yeah, so it just, like, that kept giving me confidence. Like, wow, like, look what I just accomplished. Look, and then it was like, I think I could run my own business. I think I could do this.
Wow. So that's fascinating that you went from really doubting yourself. And it makes sense, when we're kids, we're like sponges and we just take in whatever the messages are. And you were a grown woman and you still had somebody above you telling you and telling others, that you're not good enough. And that also plays, that's like confirmation of what you already believed. Yeah, I'm
Right.
not good enough. And he just said, I'm not good enough.
Right.
So yeah, of course I'm not going to feel like, it takes a lot of effort, but there was that thing. It was just that one moment where like, this is holding me back.
Right.
If I continue to doubt myself, if I continue to have this lack of confidence, then you can just look at the future and how it's going to hold you back.
Certainly.
So there really is nothing, even a learning disability, even,
Right.
experience, not having experience or whatever it is being a mom, right? There's all
Right.
these reasons that all these justifications that people would agree with us. Yeah,
Right.
I think that's too much for you. I don't think you should go for your math. I don't think you should go for this. You've got enough on your plate. And we agree with them because we don't want to, we first of all, we don't believe in ourselves, but then we also have that fear of failure. And
100%.
then now what are they going to think of me if I don't succeed at this? And then you just get that little push. And then it was like, why not? Let's do this. Let's do that. So you got your CPA, you got your master's, and then what?
So then I realized it just kind of lit a fire under me of just, I think it just kind of helped propel me to say, you really are capable of whatever you put your mind to. Like, why? I mean, look at this. You held yourself back because you didn't think you could do it because of fear. You just said it. It's fear. It's
Mm-hmm.
fear of I'm going to fail. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of just, there's tons of fear that we just let hold us back. And I think having those wins just helped me realize, like, okay, this is, yeah, I could fail, but it's like, why am I going to let that hold me back? That fear of failing hold me back. And so, yeah, then I started. So while I was doing my CPA, let me back up a little bit. I was actually researching or like on Facebook trying to find groups that like, would help support me. Like, are there other moms trying to do this too later in life? And so I had found a group on Facebook related to CPA moms who are taking the exam. And then when I had my CPA, I'm like, okay, I miss that. I miss that camaraderie. Like I miss the support that you would get on there. So then I went looking for a like CPA moms, and I didn't even know it was an actual business at the time, that has kind of a group on Facebook that would support you as a mom and a CPA. And I found CPA moms. And then I found your podcast, which then kind of helped me learn more and more about what CPA moms is. So that's kind of what led me down the path of realizing, like, okay, there's this whole other avenue and opportunity that I could be taking part in. And I have that constant camaraderie and the group and support that, I'm looking for, as a mom and trying to do this on my own, of starting my own business possibly. And so that is kind of what led me down the path, is finding you as one of the pieces of it. And then two, just knowing that I really wanted more. I wanted to have my own business. I've always wanted that. I just never thought it was going to ever happen. Like I just thought, oh, it's this dream down the road that maybe one day I'll have, but never did anything to put that into play. And finally, like I started listening to several different podcasts about, starting your own CPA firm and what that would look like. And then I was listening to your podcast, and a lot of it too, I'm going to back up a little bit too, is that whenever we went through COVID and everything that happened with COVID, and I started working from home some, I realized everything you're able to do from home, and that I could work from home and still have my own firm and not have to pay for a brick and mortar location, which is something that I thought like was going to hold me back from being able to have my own businesses. Like, okay, how am I going to have all this capital to start a business and to have a place that I'm going to immediately need to have, overhead expenses covered? And, like, how would I do this? And then I realized with COVID, like, this is something that I think we're moving this direction. I think the future is moving this direction. Like, this is something that we can do, and there's no reason why that this should stop me from being able to start my own business and not have to leave my home. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I could, but I mean, like, I can do everything online now. And so that kind of led me to looking at, are there virtual firms? Are there things that I could do? How would I promote myself? How would I get myself out there? That kind of led me to where CPA Moms offered everything that I was looking for. It was, the camaraderie. It was the group of women that were moms all working towards the same goal. And then it also offered me the toolkit that I needed to know how to start a business. and how to run a business virtually. And so it kind of just was that perfect fit for me. And I didn't even realize I was looking for it and found it. So thank you, Dawn.
Thank you. It's really amazing. COVID, if anything, the positive effect of COVID is that it taught the accounting industry as a whole that we do not need to physically be in the office to get our jobs done, right?
Yep,
The old time belief, if your butt isn't in the seat, you're not working. The old timers, they just couldn't get away with that because they had to bend. They had to
certainly.
allow, if they wanted their businesses to succeed, and we
Exactly.
had no choice. And it's amazing how when you don't have the choice, you try
You
something, you're like,
adapt.
oh, it really isn't that bad. And so I think it opened up a lot of opportunity. I think there were a lot of accountant moms just like you that they were employees that had to work from home. They had to figure out how to do all of that, which was
Right.
already difficult to be a working mom. But now you've got the kids at home and you don't have the daycare and the school and stuff like that. So my kids are older, but you all went through the toughest that you possibly could. And I think in that situation, it kind of opened up the idea, and more accountant moms were like, wait a minute,
Yeah, this
I
is
can
pretty
do
nice.
this. Right. If I'm benefiting my employer and I'm working from home and I'm making it work and I'm doing whatever I have to do to make it work, then why shouldn't I be the one and my family be the one benefiting from all of my hard work?
100%.
Why can't I be my own boss and then not have to answer to someone and have my own clients and not have to be at the mercy of who my bosses or the partners in charge of the firm decided to work with? So you find out about CPA moms and you decide to become a franchisee. So what has it been like for you this first year? What have you learned? Like, what are the highlights of what you have learned in this first year of being a franchisee?
A ton. It was like if I would have started my own business without CPA Moms, I think where I'm at now, it would have taken me, I feel like 5 years to get to where I'm at now. Just the amount of knowledge that I have had bestowed upon me from everybody, and just being able to learn from everybody in the CPA Moms group, the franchisees, has been so valuable. And it's been a great trip. Like, it is really has been amazing. Like, I have learned a ton about, one, running a business, how to be a owner of a business and have employees. It's been, building systems and, standard operating procedures for myself, and, just building a routine for myself too. I mean, I worked a lot of the time while I was trying to transition out of working into doing this job full time. And it was balancing all of that was different. But I think, out of all of it, one of my favorite things that I love about what I do is every day I get to talk to somebody new that has a journey that they're on, and I'm a part of telling their story, and I'm a part of making their story a reality. And they're very inspiring individuals to work with, entrepreneurs. Like, they just have such a passion for whatever it is they're doing. And I work with, multiple different types of clients, but my focus is mostly real estate investors. But every single client, no matter what they're doing, whether it's a small investment of buying a long-term rental, or it's that they're opening a nail salon, or, every person you talk to, they have such a vision and a dream, and they're so inspiring to talk to, which then just gives me a fire and a passion to want to help them and help them succeed. And it's just fun. It's exciting. Like, I don't even realize, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the kids are already home and I haven't even started dinner. And I really do. I enjoy it. And there's nothing mundane about it. I mean, you can make it, mundane if you wanted to, but that's probably my favorite part about everything that I've done, is just all the people that I've gotten to meet, and how much they've inspired me as much as I've helped inspire them. And so, but overall, just watching my business grow and just all that I've learned it's huge. It's invaluable. So it's been a really great adventure. And I think if I would have tried to do this without them, I would have been it's just like from running to, walking. It's like a totally different pace. It's nice, but a good pace. It was really well, laid out for us.
Yeah, I mean, the franchise system really is very, very well thought out. And what we like to say is you're independent, but not alone.
Yeah.
You get to run your business differently in certain aspects. There are certain things that are similar, but you get to do it the way you want to do it, and you get to work with the people that resonate with you. But yet, what I like to say about all of you, the franchisees, is that you're a sisterhood.
For sure.
And when you go out on your own, it can feel very lonely. And
Yep.
that can become very stressful and overwhelming. Who do you turn to when you're in an office? You've got different people, you've got different specialties. If the bigger the office, I worked for Deloitte and I worked for Ernst and Young years ago, and anything that came up with a client, you could just pick up the phone. There was a specialist that dealt
Right.
with it. But when you go out on your own, I think that's what stops a lot of people, is that there is too much to know. You
100%.
cannot know everything. You have to have a general knowledge, but then we even doubt that. And then we start to go to the what if scenarios. Well, what if somebody asks me about this? And what if somebody asks me about that? And it's wonderful that we have the Facebook group. We have this private community that people get to join and get to ask.
Hmm.
Community members are always asking each other questions. And it's the thing that you're like, maybe you're kind of embarrassed to ask at work
Right.
because you don't want people thinking you don't know what you're talking about. But you want to use that knowledge. But when you're part of the sisterhood of I mean, it's support on steroids. It's
It
just
is.
so much. And everybody wants everybody to succeed. That is
100%.
such
Yep.
a different framework than most businesses. Usually we're in competition, but this is just, how can I help you? How can I support you? What do you need? It's
Certainly.
not about just me. So
It's pretty amazing, like just even going into it. That was one thing that actually sold me whenever I was considering, do I go out on my own or do I join CPA Moms, is that was my fear, is like I don't know everything there is to know by any means, especially like I don't have tons of tax, background. And so just that alone, there's like, that just is its own little, hole you could go jump into and get lost. And so it kind of made me nervous just going out my own and not having somebody to be able to turn to for questions. And so we have people who are kind of, even though we're not all, we do have all general knowledge and we all have our strengths. For sure, there are people who there's certain areas that they really have fallen into more than you have, and you can help, them when they need help, and vice versa. Whenever you need something, they're there for you to answer questions. And it's so invaluable to have that. And for sure, that is something that definitely drew me in whenever I was looking, as to what I was going to do and just kind of making a decision, is just knowing that I would have all that. But then back to your point of the competition, that was a worry of mine, like, oh, are we all going to be competing for clients? Like, what is that going to be like, And I think it opened my eyes with CPA Moms, that there's so much opportunity out there. There's enough clients for everybody, and you just don't realize it. The world is huge, and it's really neat, because I kind of even thought, like, am I only going to have the clients right in my little backyard? Like, is that all I'm going to have, is this little territory? And it's not the case. Like, we're very fortunate that we get to help clients. Like, I have clients California, New York, Kansas, Nebraska, like everywhere. And to be able to work with all these clients and in all different areas, it just makes you realize this world, there's so many opportunities. There is zero feeling for competition, which is awesome. So like, you could go out and ask questions and get advice, and not feel like, oh, are they gonna, try to take my client, or are they gonna, you know what I mean? Like, there's not that at all. And so it is more of a support in a sisterhood, for sure.
yeah, and it's funny. One of the obstacles for people going out on their own is well, where am I going to get these clients from? And that sounds like it would be a lot of work. And but the franchise system provides the leads. And it
Yes.
provides you the sales training, and it does the marketing for you, and it takes care of a lot of the back end stuff that you just want to serve clients. You don't want to have to worry about all the other things. And of course, you're doing the consultation call, you're deciding whether this client resonates with you or
Right.
not, but you're not having to worry about getting those clients. We've actually had so many entrepreneurs and businesses that want to work with CPA moms. We have to turn off the faucet of leads.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody is on the fence about how do we get clients, there's more than enough, and you get to decide. You get to say,
Yes.
okay, enough. I think my book is full, or I'm ready to take. And then there's also the sharing. It's you know what, I'm gravitating towards this, and hey, would you like to take over this client? And I think that clients appreciate that because they're not being passed off to some nameless, faceless person. You're part of the family. It's like passing someone off to a sister. Like, here, my
Right.
sister does a great job. She's going to take over from now.
No, for sure. And I think that is really nice about it is that like there's certain areas that maybe like, medical, like I don't have a lot of experience. I mean, I did work in sort of a medical field, but I'm not been on the billing side, the insurance side. So I know there's a lot to it. I know enough to know that I don't know everything about it. So when something like that comes up, I know who I can turn to and say, hey, here you go. Let me introduce you to somebody who is like, that is their niche. That is what they're focused on. And they would be a way better fit than I would because I could service them. Yeah. But would I be able to be as great of a fit for them as this other person would be? And I know that, like you said, there are, 5 other people waiting to, come on that would maybe be a better fit than this one person. So there is that sharing where you can, be able to truly find that client that fits your niche and your, genius, I guess. And so it's nice to be able to have that. And I feel like that wouldn't be the case if you were just out. Yeah. It's
No,
like it's
you'd be
completely
grabbing,
different.
you'd be making decisions out of fear,
Yep.
right?
You'd
Because
just be
you're
taking everybody.
taking everybody, especially in the beginning. They
Yeah.
say, "Oh, no, 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 don't be, picky. You just want to take everybody." And then you're stuck with a
Yeah.
lot of clients that really don't resonate with you. They don't value your the services that you provide. They want to get the cheapest that they possibly can, and they're just difficult clients. And this way you get to really not feel so desperate. You get to
Certainly.
be a little picky within reason. So now that you finished your first year, was it everything that you expected, or what has been like the biggest surprise for you?
The biggest surprise is that I made way more than I thought I would make.
Mm,
I didn't think, I thought, oh, my first year, I'm just gonna, I didn't really know what to expect. I know what they told me,
mm.
but I didn't know, like, how are they gonna get all these clients? Like, how is this really gonna happen? How am I gonna turn this around to this? I mean, like, the first couple months, it's gonna take me a while just to get those few clients under my belt, and it surpassed my expectations, which was super exciting. So I mean, that alone was just a huge shocker. Like, I did not expect. I also didn't expect that I would need to hire somebody like so soon.
Mm.
And part of that was too because I was working and trying to still keep that job for a little bit longer before I transitioned because I had other reasons that I needed to do that. But I ended up bringing someone on way sooner, and it was, just shocking. Like, I thought I would go a whole year without hiring somebody. And, my Yumi told me, no, you're going to probably need somebody by this date. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, I will. And she was like pretty much spot on of what I would need and when I would need it. And now in the first year, I have 2, very part-time people, plus a more steadily part-time person who does admin and bookkeeping, but then the other 2 are bookkeeping and tax. So it's nice. I have a good little group of people that I work with. They're all professionals, and I just didn't foresee any of that, so that was kind of a shock to be able to see, like, wow, I would think that would be like year 3, year 2, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize I would already have enough income to be able to help support other moms who want to try to accomplish this as well.
I love that. I love that you guys are paying it forward. You're becoming the employers of accountant moms, and then you don't know what the influence will be on them because they're going to
Right.
watch you and say, hey, wait a minute, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can go out on my own, which is just amazing. So what is your vision now for the next few years? Like, let's just go by this time next year. What do you hope the business will look like?
I think what I'd like to have is somebody on my team that is more than just part-time, like somebody that's full-time working with me. And I'd like to be able to get that person to be kind of a manager over help me. My goal is to eventually work myself out of the day-to-day working. And I mean, definitely I'll still be involved and still working, but I also want to have that opportunity to go out and be a part of groups and meetings and, different, like, from chamber events to local real estate investor groupings and meetings and lunches and things like that, where I can go and promote my business so that I can continue to grow as well, and have that more like an organic thing where I can build relationships that I wouldn't have otherwise if I just stayed right here. I mean, not everybody wants that, but I really enjoy that. That kind of gets me going. And like, I went to a luncheon the other day and I came back and I was like zooming around all excited and happy. I'm like, what is this about today? And I'm like, oh, it's because that like really gave me fuel, like that really got me excited. Going there like lifted my spirits, and it was just nice to have all that. But I also do want to definitely be involved still, but I would like to get to a point where I have somebody that's, able to do some of the work that I'm doing now so that I have that time to be able to grow my business and work on also things like just continuing to work on systems and structuring so that I can improve even better, and we can become more efficient. And so, just to keep growing from there. That's my, that's my goal.
Yeah. It's after the first year and you start to get the right seats in the butts on the bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it then becomes working on the business rather than in the business. You
certainly.
start to decrease that percentage of time when you get the right people to support you. And again, it's that sisterhood. You're all, everybody is supporting each other and paying it forward to the group, but then you're all supporting the people that are working for you and their families, and the ripple
Yeah,
effect of that
certainly.
is amazing. So
It is.
what do you think the next goal will be?
As far as the business goal, I think, gosh, this year we just went over our goals of what we want to do this year, and the biggest thing that I want to do, besides the obvious of growing and getting really strong people under me, is to really work on just getting everything down to be as systematized as possible. Like I have some standard operating procedures, but I don't have it for everything. Cause it's like my husband said, I'm driving the car and you can't work on the car while you're driving the car. So it's like that. I'm driving the car and trying to work on it, and I'm not very good at it. So, I mean, I'm good at it enough that I'm keeping everything afloat, but my focus this year is to really streamline things. I mean, just to make sure that we have really good, strong systems in place, that if I hire somebody, that they aren't questioning how we do things, that they know what to expect, that there's a routine and a system in place. And right now I feel like we have half a system, but there's still chaos because there's all these unknowns that always happen, all these unexpected, because it's just part of starting a business. I mean, you're not going to go out first time and everything's going to be perfect and you're automatically going to have all these systems. You're going to have an idea, a structure, but that I think is my my goal this year, especially, is just to really hone in on those. And then as a business owner, my other thing is just really focus on KPIs and knowing, am I, actually, like, where am I most profitable? Where do, like, what do I need to do for pricing? And we do get a lot of guidance for pricing, but it's up to us how we price. So definitely, I think there's a learning curve with that, because you feel like, oh, I can't price that much, nobody's going to hire me. And as you start to build your business and build your confidence, you realize, okay, so I need to fix my pricing because there's more to it than just paying me. I have to be able to support, like you said, pay it forward and support other families. I have systems that I have to be able to pay for, and you want to be able to be profitable and still help these clients, So I think those are the things that I really want to focus on this year, is basically fixing the car and driving it, but fixing it more than I'm driving it, I guess. I don't know. I kind of a combination. I'd like to get more people to help me drive it so that I can fix it.
I love that analogy. I think that's amazing that, yeah, you can't fix the car while you're driving it. You just have to find the time, like, okay, so I'm not going to drive it on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's when I'll figure out what has to get fixed. yeah, I think it's so important to hear your story and to hear the franchisee story, because you are an example of what is possible. I think that we get caught up in our own, like you had the negative beliefs before,
Right.
and it was stopping you, and something happened and you just went for it, and you went for it in a big way, and you proved to yourself, which started the momentum, which
Yes.
then led you to be open. It's like, I'll tell my coaching clients that, how you feel is like you're down a long hallway. Your feeling is the hallway, and the doors that are open or locked are the actions that you could take. When
Yeah.
you feel self-doubt, doing things like going out on your own and asking raising your prices, that those doors are not open, they're locked. You don't even know
Right.
they're a possibility. But when you start to feel more confident and you start to feel the connection with other accountant moms, and you start to feel good, then all of a sudden it's like that door opens, and that now you've got all these doors. You're like, oh, which one do I want to walk through this week, and what do I want to
Right.
choose for this quarter or for this year? And yeah, I think that is just so amazing. And I love working with you guys on teaching you that how to manage your mind, but also how to manage your time,
Certainly.
because that, you're going into business. I tell entrepreneurs this all the time. The most important asset you have in your business is your brain.
Yep.
And so if you don't manage your mind, you are letting a toddler run your business. And we do not want a toddler running our business.
Right. Totally agree with that.
You have to be the supervising mother and understand how to manage your brain so that you can control the stress and overwhelm and the frustration and all the things, and that you can manage your time so that this doesn't become another job, right?
Right.
You left your job so you could be your own boss. You don't want to replace it with a job where you hate the boss, aka
Yep.
you.
I hate myself now.
Yeah. My boss is horrible. Oh yeah, that's right. It's me.
I
Well, I
only
want to
have
thank you
myself to
so much
blame.
for being on the podcast, and I love having you on. I love that you were a fan beforehand.
Yes, I love that too. Who would have thought? I tell you, I did not picture this.
Right? How
Back when I was
fun.
listening to you about picking apples in an orchard, I definitely did not think one day I'm going to be interviewed on that podcast.
Full circle. I love it.
Yes, full circle.
Well, I
For
love your
sure.
story, and thank you so much for sharing it with everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you heard, be sure to click subscribe on your podcast app so you never miss an episode. At CPA Moms, we pride ourselves on being the e-harmony of the accounting world, making it possible for business owners to have their accounting needs met by amazing CPAs that are moms just like you. Whether you are an accountant interested in growing your own solo mompreneur business, or perhaps you are looking for flexibility to work from home, or maybe you are looking to grow your current firm or team, CPA Moms has what you are looking for. Check us out at cpa-moms.com.